friends, it's Terry Stewart, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in the U.S. in Central Maryland. Welcome to day 4 of my virtual open house where I'm sharing make and takes from my in-person open house that I did this past weekend. And the focus was, or is, on the new mini holiday catalog, which is much more than holiday, so I should say mini catalog plus, and the celebration flyer. Today's project features the Wonderful World bundle that's available in the celebration flyer. So let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera around and you can see the gorgeous card that I'll be making today. And I'm going to move the camera now, so if you get sick, look away. You're going to see my big white light, my ceiling, and then my big head as I turn the camera around. So let's see, I think that looks good. So you can see the gorgeous card that I was talking about. And now I'm going to try to get myself up on my computer, so if anybody wants to chat with me while I'm making this card, that would be wonderful. Let's see, my computer seems to be thinking about updating. There I am. No, that's not me. That's somebody else. Ooh, where am I? There I am. Let me turn this down. Okay, so it's a little cockeyed here. Go this way? I think so. All right. Here you see this card, and it features the stamp set that makes the flowers. So this is the Wonderful World stamp set, and it's a bundle in the celebration catalog, and it's bundled with DSP, which also has the same floral images. So you have this iris, a rose, and I'm not sure what that flower is, but it's, somebody knows, please give me a shout out and let me know. But this paper is beautiful. It's got these florals, all kinds of bright, lovely, soft florals. And then it also has, on the other side, various patterns. So you get these pink patterns, little florals. Let's see what else we can show you. Little florals, little stripes, some leaves, and some rich raspberry. I know somewhere in here there's a green leaf pattern too. I was admiring. I mean, yeah, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Oh, maybe it's on the back of this one. There it is. I knew it. So look at those large florals. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful papers. So that's in the celebration catalog. And that comes as a bundle. So with a $100 order, you would be able to choose this stamp set, this bundle, the stamp set and DSP. So let me get started and bring in some things, my card kit. And so my customers were invited, well, actually everybody was invited to my open house, and then this is one of the make and takes I had. And if you go to my blog, stampinghair.blogspot.com, I'll have all the measurements so you can recreate this card. So basically I took a half sheet, cut on the short side. I cut this away at 2 3/4, and that piece becomes this. It'll layer on, and then we have a mat for that. This is Flirty Flamingo, and then this little mat here is in Mossy Green, and then I have a mat of white that goes on top of that Mossy Meadow, and then that beautiful DSP, and this piece will go here and there, and this is a first layer. It's 4 by 5 1/4. That'll get tucked in here, and then we have a 1 by 4 inch piece of DSP, and then this just layers on top of that. So that's how we're going to build our card. And I'm going to show a technique in this with this project where you go direct. Instead of using an ink pad, you can use markers. So give me a shout out if you're watching. I'd love to hear from where you're watching from. So from our stamp set, I have Wonderful World. I have this rose pattern and this little leaf that I'm also going to be using. So I am using my Stampin' Right markers, and they are, we have a dark, we have a Flirty Flamingo and a Mossy Meadow. So I'm taking the colors directly from my DSP. And these are water-based. So when you do this technique, you want to make sure that your markers are water-based. And these markers have a broad tip and a narrow writing tip. And I'll be using the broad tip for both of these techniques. So I'm starting with my Flirty Flamingo, and I'm just going to put my glasses on first and then use that broad tip to go over the flower image, and I'm just going to cover it with using my marker. So the reason why you don't want to use that, you only want to use water based markers, is that they won't stain your stamp. They're not permanent, they're water based. So then again, I'm going to use my broad tip marker, and I'm going to do the leaves and stems. So I'm just brushing this over, make sure I get it at the top, over the stems and the leaves. And I'm going to do this a couple times, well, each time I want to stamp. And then because I have spent some time doing the leaves and the stems, I'm going to bring back to life any ink that may have dried on the flower, and I'm just going to huff on it with my breath. And then I'm going to stamp this one going this way. I'm going to give it a second or two to transfer, and then I'll start the whole process again, where I will use my Flirty Flamingo marker to cover the entire image. And making sure I'm getting the edges of my flower, and then with my Mossy Meadow marker I'll ink the stems and the leaves. Okay, and make sure I get all those edges too. Alright, now I'm going to bring in my piece of scrap paper, because I already got one mark and I don't like those marks. So here's my scrap paper. I'm going to bring this back to life, and I'm going to stamp on the right hand corner there. And then I have one more that I'm going to do in the center, and I'm going to repeat this process. But you see it goes rather quickly. Once you get started, you just want to make sure you're using the broad end, of the marker, and that it's a water-based marker. And I can do this several times without cleaning my stamp. So I got all of those edges, and I'm happy. Do a little huffing, and then plop my rose right down there. Perfect. Okay, so I've shown you that technique, but as always, you can also use an ink pad. So here's my Mossy Meadow ink pad, and I'm going to use with my leaves and just kind of fill in maybe where I want a couple extra leaves to be. Maybe there's some white spots, and I just want it to not have so much white. And maybe just add one down here. And I think I'm going to be happy with that. So now I'm going to set my Mossy ink aside, but I'm going to bring in my memento and stamp on my inside. Now my inside greeting, this best wishes, well actually the inside, I don't know if I showed you the inside, has thinking of you on your special day, and I've put some of those leaves around that, and that words that comes from inspired thoughts, thinking of you in your special day. And this one has a lot of different, there's sympathy, there's a Christmas one, there's congratulations, a thank you, more Christmas, celebration. So this is a very versatile stamp set, and that's why it's in my collection, because I think you can do a lot. I mean, all occasions plus Christmas, so it's a great set to have in your collection. So I'm going to be using the thinking of you on your special day, and I'm going to stamp that in the center, because this piece here I want to make sure that it covers. So when I stamp, and the other thing you want to keep in mind is you're going to have this piece of DSP over on the side. So when you center it, you want to keep make sure that your DSP piece, you know where that's DSP piece, that's a mouthful, is, so you can center it in the white space. Okay, and now I'm going to bring back my mossy meadow and my leaves and do that. Of course, I could always use my marker, and I think I'm going to do my envelope too, since I have that here, and just put some leaves on that. And I'm going to turn this over just in case my leaves go off. So kind of carries that theme of the leaves from the flowers into the front. And I did get off, but that's going to be on the back side, and nobody will know that I did that. Okay, so now the last thing to stamp, we're going back to the front, and we're going to stamp this best wishes and happy thoughts, and that comes from Nature's Prints, which is another stamps that I've been using a lot. And I love the fonts because it has the handwritten along with the typeset. And then you have more florals and botanical images and the splatter, and just very very useful and very versatile. So with my memento ink, I'll stamp my best wishes and happy thoughts. So I feel like this could be a congratulations, a wedding card, or maybe even a birthday card, or some other occasion that you wanted to send best wishes for. Maybe somebody's going off to college. I have my daughter will be returning to college soon, so this might be a great card to give to her and send her away with some happy thoughts. So now we can start assembling. So first thing, I'm going to put this piece of DSP on my insert. It has these, like I said, these great patterns. Can you see this card with rich raspberry, and then using this side of the paper? And just so many options. And I'm kind of making sure that this is lined up on the end. Okay, well, it hangs over a little bit. I'm going to snip that little bit off. You see that? I'm going to cut that at a wonky angle. Oh, there we go, that way. And now we can layer up the front. So I'm going to take my stamped focal piece and adhere that to my mossy meadow. cardstock. So this card is the last of my non-holiday make and takes. Tomorrow we're back to Christmas. And before I go any further, I want to bring in my baker's twine. So this is retired baker's twine. It's old olive. If you don't have this and you want the green, then you can take our baker's twine that's in the annual catalog. It comes in a pack with black and serrated sand, vanilla, and markers. So if you have the blends, these are alcohol markers. These are not water-based. That's why I did not use these on my stamps, but you can, they're permanent markers. So you can permanent marker color, and the color is permanent. So this also has a narrow end and a brush end, and I'll use the brush end. And what you could do is just back and forth, make sure you get all the sides, and dye the white baker's twine. So that's the dark blends marker. And then for the light, so you can decide what color you want. The same thing, you just back and forth and on the sides, just cover the white up. Just rub it back and forth. So with these blends, I feel like the darker one is a little bit dark. Can you see the difference there? And that the lighter one is probably closer to the twine that I used if you don't have this retired product. So there's a way to get your baker's twine the color you want, but you have to be the alcohol markers for that. And it dries quickly, so that's the other good thing about dyeing your own baker's twine. So I'm going to wrap this around and tie a bow. And as I have told you, I do better with leaving it on the spool, because if I cut it, I'm going to cut it too long or too short. So this is my technique to make myself happy and not fret when I cut something too short and then I don't have a use for it. So I'm just going to tie a bow. Let's see how this goes. See if I can do this on, do it live. Alright. Oh, not too bad. And then I can kind of play with the bow until I get it to the size that I want, the loops that I want. Looks about right. And okay, looks good. I think I'm happy with that. I'll snip off the tails. All right, and then I can slide this down to off to the side and kind of leave my flowers. Do I want it low? Do I want maybe this one's going to be higher, just because of how I stamped my flowers. Yeah, what do you think? Higher? Me too. Okay, and we can now adhere this to our Florida Flamingo panel or layer. I'll just put some glue on here. Up next, I think this will secure this nicely. And it doesn't, I just want to make sure that I have that narrow border. Like I said, check out my blog so you can get the measurements and recreate this card. It's one of the easiest fun folds there, I think, that there are, that's out there. All right. And now we're going to kind of finish up. We'll put our inside piece layer, and if you stick around to the end, I'll kind of give you a little tour of the celebration flyer and the annual catalog where with the products I've used on this project. So please stick around. And now this will, I think I'm I'm going to use my bone folder just to have this lay down nice and flat. Maybe on the back too. There we go. And this beautiful DSP. I just love, it reminds me of spring. And maybe that's why it's good for a wedding, like a spring wedding or a cheery card that you want to brighten somebody's day. This would be the DSP to use. Now to adhere this, I kind of want the same distance of top and bottom, and then off to the side the same distance right and left. But I can't secure it on the right hand side or glue it shut, so I'm going to flip this over, kind of eyeball where I want it, and then just put glue on that part of the panel so the glue does not go past this flap. And so it looks like I have maybe about an inch top and bottom and a ½ inch right and left, and that's where I'm going to place my panel. Just give it a little hold, secure it, and then I've done good with the glue. It didn't ooze out. And the last little embellishment is I'm going to put some pearls. Now this is the Jewels basic pearls, and it's just in some old packaging, and they have a different size. So I have a lot of these little tiny, I don't know, almost like seed pearls. So I'm going to be using these up and put a pearl over here, and then some of these really tiny little seed pearls. I'm going to pick them up with my picking tool, and that has a little fine point, so it makes it very easy. So I'll put a little seed pearl there, and I'll pick another one up and put that one, where should I put that? Right here? Up here towards the top. And because I have so many, I'm going to fill in some more. Just, I think that they just add a little tiny touch, and I have plenty of them, so I can be very generous with them. Maybe 2 up here. So I like to use odd numbers. Oh, there's one that jumped off. He's trying to go on the envelope. That's not going to work out. Okay. Well, get rid of him. So there is the Sale-a-bration Wonderful World card. And an envelope. And so I had promised I was going to show you the celebration. This is where through August, with a $50 purchase or a $100 purchase, you can pick celebration items. And these first items are $50. Now if you have a $100 item, you could pick 2 $50 level. And I don't have the hippos. I did show one of this? This Rings of Love, that's a $50 limit. And then we had cards and envelopes. These have sold out, so it is why supplies last. These were very popular, these cards and envelopes. No longer available. The sketches, the stylish sketches, and that was in the, I think the second day make and take. And that's a $50 order limit. $50 product. And these silver and gold DSP packs, I showed that in my, I think it was the first day. And then we move on to the $100 level. So if you have a $100 level, you can pick these or 2 50s. So this stamp set is $100 level. You get this free with a $100 order because there's 17 stamps. That's a huge stamp set. Or you can get these tree lot dies, which they coordinate with the Trees for Sale stamp set in the mini catalog. So you get a stamp set, and then you can get the dies for free with $100 orders. And you make campers and trees and little dogs. It's just super cute, super cute. And but wait, and then it's the Wonderful World stamp set, which I just showed you the stamps and the DSP, and that's also free with a $100 purchase. And here you can see some beautiful cards they've made with that. Just gorgeous. If you host during celebration and your party comes out to $300 or you place a $300 order, you'll get this perfect pomegranate stamp set for free. And it's exclusive. The only way to get that is to either host a show for $300 or you place an order for $300. I can't even get it. I would have to place a $300 order. And then if you join during celebration, you get this Making Plans collection for free. It's a free perk in addition to the normal offer of paying $99, selecting $125 in products. No shipping. You do have to pay tax. Then you would get this Making Plans collection for free. They would add it in. Stampin' Up! Would give it to you. And it's a planner, it's notebooks, and a stamp set. So that is a fabulous offer, and if you're interested in that, hit me up, and I'd love to have you join my team. So we talked about getting free items for during celebration with your orders. So in the annual catalog, what I used in this to create this, other than the stamp set, I used the Inspired Thoughts for the inside, the Thinking of You. That's on page 77. So if you purchased that, you purchased the Nature's Prints, which is on page 91. That's the stamp set that the Best Wishes and Happy Thoughts. Purchased the Mossy Meadow cardstock, the blends, ink pad. So these are all things that you could purchase to create this project and earn the stamp set, the bundle and DSP stamp set. Here's the pearls. Oh, those are the iridescent pearls. I think the regular pearls are here on page 142. And of course the Baker's Twine pack down here, so you can get the white and then you can color it with the blends, the alcohol markers, as I was showing you. So there's ways to earn that celebration bundle, and then you can make this card. Anyway, there you go. I've enjoyed sharing my Make and Take project with you. Tomorrow is the last day of my Make and Takes, and I'll be sharing another Christmas card with you, and I hope you can join me tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I am posting these videos on YouTube, so you can go and rewatch them if you would like. Check out my blog for the measurements, and if you need to order, I'm always here, and I'd love to hear from you. And until then, remember, stamping is fun. Bye.